We're talking exactly in that situation where you get an order from the Chief of Staff, Raful Eitan, also from Ariel Sharon, the then Minister of Defense. And when we're talking about shooting down airplanes, in some cases, am I right that we're talking about both private and commercial airplanes as legitimate targets?
No, the legitimate target was Arafat himself.
Right.
Non-legitimate, from my perspective, was other airplanes which has some other passenger inside, because we don't have to shoot down other people. And this was a dilemma all along the way, not only on this case, but a lot of cases which we had to deal with all the time.
And Ariel Sharon thought that was legitimate, to shoot down other planes that would have other passengers in it.
I didn't have a chance to talk with him, so I wouldn't tell you what he thought. But the order was to shoot it down.
The order was to shoot it down.
After that event, after 1982, that moment when you almost shot down that plane, you continued to serve very senior roles in the defense establishment. Throughout both the time when Sharon was defense minister and after, how long was Yasser Arafat still a legitimate target?
Arafat was a legitimate target until the Oslo Accord, I would say, because he was responsible for a lot of funerals here in the country for a long time. Only after Oslo hasn't been, he made himself as a politician, or so he wasn't on the list of
Do you believe, from your having witnessed the fervor with which several people, including Sharon, wanted to assassinate him, do you believe that they let it go all those years after, or that this was still a sort of open wound and persisted?
I think everybody understood that he is himself a legitimate target. The real conflict was, and a lot of people which didn't agree, that to kill others in the same time, it's legitimate. Or to suffer other people, this is legitimate. This is what the conflict was. And always we were checking, when we were attacking in ours, which people said, Arafat inside, if we are going to risk some other people, yes or not. So this was a major conflict which we had among ourselves, because everybody understood Arafat is a real terrorist. The idea is how to do it without any casualties from other side.
Were you in conflict with a request to shoot down a plane or something that might have inflicted a lot of collateral damage, with whether to carry it out?
There were some times which we have in a conflict, yes.
And who won in that conflict?
You see, Israel shot down once by mistake the Libyan passenger airplane. And it was by mistake, because in some way we wanted only to warning to come for landing. And this is a mistake which we learned quite a lot for a long time. So that's why we were very careful about any civilian commercial airplane to try to shoot it down. That's why I was so much concerned about it, to understand who is inside and how much people. We had to learn from our past, and it was quite a shock after the Libyan airplane came down.
All right, Major General in the Reserves, David Ivry, thank you very much for being here and sharing that piece of history.